Welcome back. I just want to remind you that knitters only go to heaven if they pass through the pearly gates. Enjoy the show.
Hi everybody, welcome to my knitting channel. This is episode 114. We're going to try to get through this real quick because it's raining and it's supposed to rain all day. And if it rains too hard, you can hear it on the roof. Which I can now hear. So we're going to try to get through this pretty quick, okay? Because otherwise I have to skip. This is the only time I have for this. I am not wearing anything knit today because my belly button is so itchy, because that's where one of my incisions is and it's driving me crazy. So I didn't want to wear anything that would itch it. Plus it's gross. It's like a scab and it's gross. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out with what I have here. Not that. Okay, so I've been working on these sport weight hats, right? Well, turns out that the 325 and the 3.5 won't give me enough yardage to finish the hat. Which one was this? Which one was this? 325. So the 325, I'm about ready to do the decreases. And the fold over brim gives me here, which is not enough for me. Yeah, this is seabed. So this is the 325. This is the one I thought was going to be it. But it's not. This is not enough for me for the fold over. So then the 375, I've got about 30 grams left. I mean, this is the 3.5. I've got about 30 grams left, and which it's given me this, which is like the same. So I don't know if that's going to give me enough to close it up. I have 30 and I need about 10. So this is going to be 20 more. But I'm not sure that that's even going to make enough of a difference for me. So I'm thinking of restarting with a 375, which will give me the longest, slouchiest hat. So because there's 30 grams, well, it's actually 20 something, 26, I think. So you're really only getting half of that in length because it's doubled over. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel like this is going to give me enough of a fold over. I should probably look at my fingering weight ones and see how much of a fold over I have on. Well, because see, I only have one of those and it's got the shorter. Anyway, so I have another one because I told you I have like 8 of these. This is evergreens. It's all greens. So I was going to start this on the 375. Probably maybe with the same stitch count as this, because the stitch count that I saw on a hat was 112 on 375s, and this is 120. But this isn't blocked yet, so blocked it would be I'm trying to decide what to do. So anyway, I'm not going to frog either of these. I'm just gonna start this one. and see what happens. Because then once I have it right, I can just do them all the same and it won't matter. Right? So that's where we are there. I'm going back to the 375. You better not eat that. Hey, we don't eat cardboard. Make good choices. Brienne. Don't I go sit on this one? Okay, so anyway, my other whip is the bamboo pop hat that I'm finally making some progress on. Do you see the texture now, right? That comes with this. It's weird because it's not wool. It's cotton and bamboo and like an elastic, and I'm trying to. It's familiar to me, but I can't place. Almost like a corduroy. Like I can feel the lines on it. I'm really curious as to how this will block because I don't. Cotton does not block the way wool blocks. There's no catch. There's no sticky. So I don't know what this is going to look like when it blocks. But it's not annoying me now that we're past the increases. We're out of that part and we're in the actual circle part. It's going a lot faster. I think I hate this stitch marker, so I'm gonna have to replace it with something. It's just not working for. I get annoyed every time it comes around and I see it, and I'm like, stop it. So those are all the same. Oh, this is the other thing I'm working on: the Sockhead Cowl in my Drunken Unicorns from Mitchell's Creations, which I absolutely love. Love. So I ended up doing 50 rounds of the 2x2 ribbing. See, they begin and end with purple. I like how they look different on the ribbing than they do on the stockinette. That looks, it's just when you're wearing it, that's going to give more, differences to catch the eye. Is that what that means? I don't know what I'm talking about. I love this yarn. I want to buy this in more color. And I want to do more than one and make something, but I'm like, this is a little too much color for anywhere but here for me. I think it's too much color otherwise. It's so cold in here today. It's just above freezing, which is why it's raining and not snowing. It's 37 degrees. It's pretty cold. I love this colorway so much. I love colorways that can be black but still have some color in them. And even though I'm not really a fan of neons, I also love I love color that hurts your eyes when you look at it. It's almost blinding, it's almost too. I don't know why I like that, but I do. One of the few sensory things that I like is when usually it's blues and purples I look at, and they're so bright, they hurt my eyes. So this definitely hurts my eyes against the black. I can't wait for this to be finished. This will be finished soon. Probably next time. And then I decided I'm going to start with a DK. My next one of these is going to be a DK. I already have it worked out, what needles I'm using and what stitch count will be. This is from Destination Yarn. This is called Winterfell. This is a Game of Thrones, so it's kind of old. But I thought that would look nice. I That would look nice at the throat. It also looks like I have a fingering weight that is called, you're going to need a bigger boat, that is Jaws inspired, that looks similar to this, that I'll probably make a shawl out of. But that's one of those, I love Jaws so much that's like nothing will be good enough for it. So I'm going to end up making one of my shawls with it. I just know. But I was like, oh, I'll make this one into a cowl, and then I can have more than one thing that's a bloody mess, and I love. So then I'll have stitch counts on DK that I'm hoping to get the similar fit from that. So we'll have to see how that goes. But DK will be quick. It's 230 yards, so that will be quite quick to get through. Oh. That's on my whips and everything, but I do have some squishy mail that I bought. Well, it's not technically squishy mail. Okay, guys, so you know that I poked a hole in one of my vinyl bags. And since I have another vinyl bag that was way more expensive, let me show you this vinyl bag. My Whimsy stitches that I love, I poked a hole in it with my needle, which is why these are wearing these. So what I did was I went on Etsy because I'm an idiot, and I'm like, oh, I want to support handcrafters, people that make these things. I didn't want to buy from, Amazon. So I found this place called Luxe Co. on Etsy. I will link them below. And they had this really adorable little thing where it comes in this it's fake. It's not real leather. I don't do leather. Luxe Co. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then inside is this package of needle stoppers. They're not protectors. They said protectors, but they're not protectors. Let me tell you why. Because in all the pictures I saw one hole. And I don't think they were on any needles. If they were, the needle was not showing through the other side. Because these have 2 holes. So it goes all the way through. So you have a hole there. So this is technically not a needle protector. It's a needle. I'm not even sure if it's a needle stopper. I don't think I would call it a needle stopper either, because it doesn't stop the needle. In fact, and I checked the sizes, and it fits the size of my needle. But when you put it on, this happens. Oh my gosh, look at that. So I was like, well, how much is that going to help me protecting any of my vinyl bags? So I can't use these. This is the only reason that I bought these, was to keep from poking through my vinyl bags. I have literally zero other reason to have these. I don't know what you would need this for if not for that. So these will go in our little thing of giveaways that I never have, because I'm so mad about it. So instead I went to Amazon and I got Clover, which I suppose you could have gotten to go to Joann's. So Clover has large and small. The large are purple, the small are green. Packs of there's 4 in a pack, so that's 2 pairs. I have had these for a while, and where I kept them was in a plastic box that it's like a little tackle box, but I mean not a tackle box. It's like a box that would go in a tackle box where it has dividers, so it's a thing. And these must have gotten so hot that they melted to the plastic thing. So I was like, ugh, I don't want to use these. But these were the only things I could find. And they work. So the needle doesn't come out. It stays on. In fact, I have a hard time getting them off. Because my hands are always moisturized with something. Won't poke my bags. Won't poke my very expensive vinyl bag. You know the one I'm talking about with the skulls on it. Because I haven't even used it because I'm like, once I poked this, I was like, we're not using that bag until we make sure we're not poking through that bag, which I'd have to have some pretty sharp, thick needles to get through that one. So I wanted to tell you, now I could have messaged the person before and asked, but it said stopper protector, so I didn't think I needed to. My bad. These were like $12, which I thought was a good price for 4 pairs. This ended up being like $9 for 4 pairs, so with free shipping because I have Prime. So this was actually like $20 for 4 pairs that I don't need, which irritates the crap out of me because these are so cute and I was so ready to have them, and then I'm like, as soon as I got them, I'm like, oh, the hole goes all the way through. Crap. So I don't know. My loss, I guess. So I wanted to see what we have coming up, and I realized I don't know what day it is. Oh, here comes the rain. I might need to take a break. I think this is as good as we're gonna get, and I don't want to wait anymore. So I'm just gonna kind of talk loud over what's happening. So I decided tomorrow is my tomorrow is my post-op appointment. 3 weeks. And so today's the 22nd. So the 23rd. So next week when I record will be March 1st. So March 1st is going to start, since then I'll only have 2 weeks left of my recovery, which I'm feeling okay mentally right now. So I think by March 1st, another week, I should be able to get into real projects again, which means we'll probably finish the slumber shawl, we'll finish the burdock shawl, and start some new things. So that's my plan right now. So the rest of this, to the next record, because I go recording to recording. That's how I live my life. I'm going to finish up this ridiculousness that I'm doing, and I'm going to make a plan for March and see what we're going to get done in March, which will be fantastic. So I've decided I'm going to go back to week now because these videos are so long when I get rambling, and if I don't ramble every week, they are exceptionally long. So my only problem is I don't know what I'm gonna have at the end of the things. Like right now I'm out of knitting content for you, and I've got 20 minutes. So I've only got 20 minutes of content. So I feel like if you're fine with that and you want to go, you can go, and then I'll just talk about some randomness, or I'll sit here and knit and chat with you to give you a little bit of a longer episode. That way, if you don't want to stay in it, you don't have to, and if you're just here for the knitting content, you can go, and the rest of you, if you want to stay and knit and listen to me ramble, because I do when you guys ramble and knit, I will sit and knit with you and listen to you ramble and hear about what you're working on. Like one of my favorite YouTubers is the Fat Squirrel Speaks, which I love her going through her books, going through her doing screen printing right now, and apple season and the sumo orange season. And I love learning about the birds and whatever she's sewing. And I absolutely love hearing about the trying to fix the thing in our house. just fun stuff that I don't know, because I feel like I kind of know you guys, so I feel like, I like to hear about that stuff in your life. So today, my knitting content is over with. I would like to tell you a story about my dog, Ripley, who you have seen. She is my big girl. She is a black and tan. Her full name is Lieutenant First Class Ellen Louise Ripley from Alien, because we wanted like the biggest, baddest female in sci-fi, and that's who we could come up with. And she is so wrongly named. She is not brave. She don't even like cats. Okay, she's scared of cats. So loves people, loves little kids, but scared to death of everything. So I want to tell you a story about her because I have been researching PTSD dogs and how to get a service animal, how to train a service animal, and what the ADA requirements are and stuff like this. And basically they have to be within your control all the time. So it's a good idea to do the what's that one, the good citizenship. Is it from like the ASPC or somebody does a thing? Anyway, it's just a basic manners handling, that your dog listens to. And then you have to take it out to all these places. And I know places like Home Depot, I think, and Lowe's, you can bring dogs in. And a lot of people bring dogs in while they're training, because people actually do train service dogs. But you don't need to have a service dog trained for you. They can be very, very expensive. You can train your own service dog if you know what you're doing. I love two dog trainers that are, they are reward based. They don't, it's no punishment. There's no punishment because dogs don't understand punishment, and there's no force. And that is Zak George, and he is here on YouTube. And there is the other one called Dogmantics, and I will link you to both of them because they're both awesome. And Zak George used to have a show on Animal Planet called Fetch, and he would show with his dog. Oh, what dog was that? That was like his first dog. I can't think of what the first dog. He's had so many dogs. I can't remember. Oh, it's right there too. I can't, though, because I'm like, okay, there's that one and that one and I can't. There's so many. He has two books out that accompany his YouTube, but the YouTube's all free. You can go on and he has a whole puppy thing, start to finish what you need with a puppy. So anyway, this has nothing to do with my dog. Other than I use Zak George to teach her. We do clicker training because she loves the sound of the clicker. So she clicker trains. And that really helped her gain some confidence. She came from the shelter at 3 months old, and she was a mess. She was a complete mess. When I went in to see her, they brought her in the room, and she immediately rolled on her back and peed herself. And I was like, this dog is coming home with me. I wasn't going to leave her there. I wasn't going to leave her to someone. A dog that will submit like that needs a lot of work, and I recognize that. And I was like, I wanted her to come. I knew she would be safe with us. I knew we could train her. I knew we could get her better. I did not recognize how damaged she was. And at that point, I didn't know you could damage puppies that badly. That 3 months she already had PTSD. She has an anxiety disorder. She's an absolute mess, but we love her. and she's a great dog. But I wanted to tell you a story of the other day. I was talking about, I don't remember what I was talking about. I must have been talking about something, I think about my surgery. I think something probably PTSD related, because I was getting upset and I'm wondering if I was crying. Like I was getting myself worked up. And Ripley was sitting next to my husband across the room on the sofa, and I was sitting in my lazy boy chair. And all of a sudden, she looked up at me and cocked her head and looked right at me. And I was getting, like I said, I was getting worked up. She jumped down off the sofa, came over to me, got up onto my chair and laid down in my lap. And then was like wanting me to pet her. And I was like, did she just autism me? Like, did she just... Have you seen those dogs for people with autism and other, but specifically the autism where you get upset and you hit yourself, where the dogs will come over and lay on top of you so you can't hit yourself. And I'm like, is she laying on me so I can't quote unquote hit myself, meaning because I was getting myself worked up talking, meaning shut up and get out of your cycle and come back. And a lot of that is tactile. And so she was she had her hands on me, pet me. And I was like, I accidentally made my dog, I accidentally taught her something to help me. And I'm wondering if it also helps her, that if me getting riled up sets her off because she also has anxiety, if she's trying to, oh no, mom's up. I have two theories. The one is when she gets upset, I calm her down. I go to her, I hug her because she loves hugs. Not all dogs love hugs, but she does. She will put her whole weight of her against you and you hug her and she'll put her head right here and she will just, her entire body will be on you and she will just put her head right here and just let you hug her. The other thing she likes is to be kissed on her nose, right between her eyes, right on her nose. And a lot of times I've noticed when I'm upset, she will come to me to give her kisses. Because me giving her kisses calms her, she might think it also calms me. So I've noticed her do both of those things when I start getting riled up. She comes to me to kiss her nose, and she comes to me and lays on me to pet her. And I'm like, did I accidentally teach my dog to be a service dog for me? And she's 10 years old now, right? She's 10, I think. She was born in, she's 9. So I'm like, did I accidentally teach her this? Is she that tuned into me that or tuned into her own anxiety and what I've done for 9 years to help her with the help of my therapist? We've actually had conversations with how can I help my dog not be so anxious. And it was a weird and wonderful thing. And I thought, oh my God. And there are also days where my pain's bad. And I'll lay in bed all day. And all of the dogs will lay on me. They will all crawl into bed with me. Biggest pain days. You guys, come on, But that was really made me see, we both were stunned watching her. Did she was that her version of to lay on me so I'd stop hitting myself? I was like, holy crap, this dog knows to do something. She knows to do something. And she turned and made eye contact with me, looked right over at me. And I'm like, what are you doing? So I thought that was really neat. Really, really neat. Now, we can't take her anywhere because she has not had the good citizen test. She is terrible out in public. She's terrified of everybody. If I took her to Lowe's, she'd probably have a heart attack. Like I told you the story. I tried to take her for a walk, and we got like 5 houses down, and she jumped up on me and bruised my arm and was like, I want to go home. So I couldn't actually take her anywhere. But in the house, I guess it's good to have. But I've always wanted to, like, thinking, what would I need to have a dog do? And then so I could train it to do that. Because I'm pretty sure they have to do 2 things. I think they have to do 2 things for your disability. And she could tell it was happening. She alerted and came over and sat on me. And I was like, this is exactly what you would want a dog to do. Anyway, I thought I would share that with you, because if you're here, you have to love animals as much as me, because that's what I talk about all the time. I also wanted to talk a little bit about my surgery. And so I'm going tomorrow for my update. So I'm not going to talk about anything physically yet, because I have some questions that I want answered before I say anything to you. But I did want to talk a little bit about the emotional and mental things that I have noticed happen to me with my surgery. And I had a total hysterectomy. All they left were my ovaries. Everything else is gone. They took my fallopian tubes, my uterus, and my cervix. Took everything but the ovaries, because she wanted me to have them for the hormones, because I'm only 45. And also I was reading a thing that said if you have been on birth control for 5 years, your chances of getting ovarian cancer are lowered. And I have been on birth control. I'm wondering if it was for a total of 5 years. I'm not sure. But I was thinking I'll go on it for 5 years if that's going to get me less of a chance of. So I want to talk to her about that too. But anyway, beside the point, I do still have my ovaries, so I do still have hormones, which means I will go through menopause, and I won't have the telltale signs of that, which is a period. So I won't have a period anymore. So I will still be making eggs and dropping them down, and they will be reabsorbed. And I'm sure I'll still making cysts, because they like to do that. I'm wondering how many she took out, and if she took any, because she had some pictures for me to look at. Because I think I was really excited about, what is that? I'm all about science crap and knowing, like, if I wish I could have asked them to save me the actual things to look at, but they had to be, everything had to go out for testing. So I want to say some things that surprised me. One thing that I think most women, people with uteruses would consider to be normal is the feelings of finality of not being able to have a child, which I think I just didn't, because I've known from a very young age I was not going to have children. Pregnancy was terrifying. So the thought of it is terrifying to me. Nothing about it appeals to me. Just no thank you. It's too dangerous and it's scary, and no thanks. I don't want now I have to say, I went through my sister's first pregnancy with her as her partner, as her coach, as her Lamaze partner, as everything. I was basically the step-in dad for that pregnancy, and I loved it. I loved it. So I was there every step of the way. I was reading the books. I was interested in everything that was happening to her, but she didn't want to hear about it. She's like, don't tell me. I don't want to know. But I was like, it's this size now, and this is what's developed. And I got really into it, because I think I knew that was my only chance. It was my only chance at experiencing this, and someone so close to me, my sister. And this was going to be the only chance I was going to have for this experience. And I really, really wanted the experience, because growing up as I did, knowing that I was disabled, knowing that I wasn't going to get a normal life, that I probably wasn't going to get married, wasn't going to have kids, wasn't going to have a career. There were so many things out of reach. So when the dad stepped away and my sister was so alone, I just stepped up for her and for me. So it wasn't completely selfless. I wanted the experience. I really wanted the experience. And I got way more than I bargained for, and I loved it. Oh, it's so great. But while that was great, I knew, especially then, that this was not something I could do. So I had always known that I was not going to have children. But waking up, and even before, kind of saying goodbye to my womb, even though I never was going to use it, there's some finality to it, waking up going, now you really can't. Now you really can't. Even though I'm 45, there's no way I would have done that now. I'd be like 20 by the time they were, graduating. And that's, I'd be 65. It's 20 years about, I'd be 65 graduating school. And that's way too, I would not want to leave my children that young, So I'm like, you're already 20 years too late. What are you going to do? So even knowing all of that, I still did feel the loss of my fertility, and also kind of a feeling, well, do I still feel like a woman? And which comes with aging anyway, because you're like, look at me, I'm old, and I'm not as beautiful as I was, and my body is starting to sag, and I'm getting wrinkles, and I see my mother's face when I look in the mirror. So I think it's just part of the aging process, because also I'm doing this at 45. I don't know, but that was something I hadn't expected to feel, was an emptiness in my womb, and the finality of, you really can't have any now, even though there were no plans to have any at all. None. I'm trying to think of what else. Really, really struggling with how I see myself as a woman now, which I said is also because of the aging, but especially without your baby maker, without that. And that more, both of these issues, I think, more have to do with society telling me what's expected of me, which I have never done. Never. So I'm kind of wondering why it matters to me at all, when I was never doing what society wanted me to do ever, and had no plan to. So what do I care what society thinks of me now as a completely barren woman, and who's getting older? So there's not a lot of room for us as we age. Which is kind of freeing. It's kind of freeing, but then I also make sure to keep a lookout for the younger girls and make sure that, they're okay, Because there is one girl on Instagram who I follow, and who has been really being bullied terribly for her mental health issues and her sexuality, which pisses me right off. And I don't understand why anyone else has a say, and she seems to, have a good head on her shoulders, and she knows what's up, but it still makes me mad that people are being bullied. This is why I hate Instagram, because it's so easy to bully. I just block people. If you're going to bully me, I just block you. That's what I do. I don't have time for this. I block you. I don't care what you have to say. Say it somewhere else. Don't care. So I really want to make sure, that's part of why I started the DyeDirectory and DD, was so I could go and shop at my favorite indie dyers and designers without having to see any of that crap, without having to see any bullying happening or any, I don't want to say drama, because some drama is necessary, but bullying is not necessary, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Never necessary. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all, and let those people wallow in their own insignificance. That's the best thing you can do, because what they want is your attention. They want your attention. They want to fight you. That's what they want. If you just ignore them, they'll go somewhere else. Don't engage. Block, and for your own sanity, just block and go. Because you're not going to learn anything from them. You're not going to learn anything from them. It's going to hurt you more than anything else. So just block and move on. And that's the one thing I love about getting older, is that I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I don't care. I just think I'm only thinking about these because of my surgery and what it means for me to be. The other part is that I'm mad. I'm mad that I live in a country where I had to, have my organs removed in order to feel safe as a woman. In this country, in the state of Ohio, where I live, I felt this was my only choice to feel safe, to have some control over my body, was to have my organs removed. And that makes me, it fills me with rage, to be honest with you. It fills me with rage. Okay. Have you seen Snow White and Huntsman? If there's any way I can bring something back to Chris Hemsworth, you bet your butt I'm going to do it. But anyway, in Chris Hemsworth's movie, Snow White and the Huntsman, it also has Charlize Theron, who's gorgeous. And what's her name from Twilight? I forget her name. Who was done very dirty by that director, and I'm very mad at him, and I don't know his name, and I hate him, but that movie is really beautiful to look at. It's like an entire love letter to that actress, and it's really amazing. But anyway, my point is, there's part of that movie where they go to this place, and Charlize Theron is like the evil queen, and she feeds on the beauty of the young women. And you see this earlier in the thing where she brings a young woman, and they're holding her in a cell, and they take her to see the queen, and she comes back and she has aged. So she's basically sucking the youth out of them to keep herself youthful. So there's a complete tribe of, and she's always at war, so she takes the men and makes them go fight wars for her, I think. So they come upon this tribe of people, and these women are all scarred up on their faces. And their children are scarred up on their faces. And she says, it's for our protection. The queen doesn't want us. And I was like, oh my God, that's what I just did to my body. Because I rewatched that and I was like, oh my God, I totally did that to my own body. So, so I'm not forced into a pregnancy that I don't want. And that made me really mad. So I've been having a lot of sadness, then it goes to anger, sadness, anger. What does this mean for me now? Nothing, because my life's going to continue on as it was, and it doesn't mean anything. Less pain for me, hopefully. But anyway, I wanted to say that there's lots of emotions and thoughts and stuff, and I'm still waiting for, I'm not sure when I have therapy next, but I also feel a lot stronger that I actually went through it, because it was such a PTSD issue for me that I actually went through it and did it and came out the other side. And that first week was rough, man, but after that, I was feeling pretty invincible the other day. I was like, maybe I'll go get LASIK now, who knows, because LASIK grossed me out before, but now I'm like, maybe I could do it, because they keep you awake. And I was like, if they knocked me out, I'd do it, but they keep you awake. Anyway, the rain is coming down, so I'm going to say goodbye here. And I will see you next week. That'll be March 1st, and I'll have a bunch of what we're going to do that month, because I still love to plan. I haven't worked out what episode, if we're going to have any recurring episodes like we did last time with I think I'm just going to show you finished items as they're finished, and not go over them at the end of the month, and probably do a planning month or planning seasons, because I do like to do that. And I also like to see what everyone else has got going on. And, you know, if you have any suggestions of things you'd like me to make or want me to look at, any patterns coming out that you want me to take a look at and see if I want to do them, anything you might want to make along with me, if there's just 2 of us or 5 of us, I don't care. Anyway, I'm leaving because it's getting really loud in here. So, take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.